Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a footpod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a footpod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a footpod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a footpod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Right, welcome along. We are broadcasting live. Marcus Holmes is going to hit 10,000 miles today on Zwift. And it'll be in about, I think about 10 kilometres from now, or 11, I'm not entirely sure. 12 miles, it's 19 kilometres, okay. So when Marcus gets to 19 kilometres today, he will hit 10,000 miles on Zwift, and you're about to go, Victoria, 4 seconds. So Carol has joined us as well, just for this start off. Marcus is off, Victoria's a little bit behind, but away we go. So Victoria's got to run at least 17 kilometres today because she has a goal of 80 kilometres this week in training. And so she's got 17 kilometres to go to hit that marker. But she'll obviously go a bit further because she wants to be there when Marcus hits 10,000 miles. And I'm going to jump on the treadmill in about 14 kilometers time, and I'll run for 10 kilometers to make sure that I'm there as well when Marcus hits 10,000 miles. If you're watching, hello. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, good afternoon. It's Sunday afternoon here in the UK on the south coast of England, and it's earlier in the morning where Marcus is in Virginia. What time is it now? It's so it'd be about 9:30 in the morning in Virginia, I would have thought. It's very, very hot, says Victoria. Already only 1 minute in, and Victoria is already pretty hot. It is lovely and sunny outside, but that doesn't make for good running inside shed quarters today. 9:30, yes, 9:30 in Virginia for Marcus running this morning, Sunday morning. So we're off and running, and I will. I'm going to go and get myself a little drink in a second, but I'll be around. But Victoria is also here to answer the odd question. If you're watching for the first time, or if you're just tuning in to cheer Marcus on, we've got about 18 and 19 kilometres before Marcus actually hits 10,000 miles. I know it's odd that we're working in miles and kilometres, but that's just what we do because we're across the pond. We're embracing imperial and metric. If you're wondering what 10,000 miles is in kilometres, it's about 16,000 kilometres. No one else is close to this, by the way. If you're wondering why we're celebrating 10,000 miles for Marcus on Zwift, yeah, Marcus says we are an international community. That's it. No one else on Zwift is anywhere near 10,000 miles on Zwift running. Yeah, Victoria is just saying everyone, Carol and Victoria and Marcus are all on level 21. However, the gap in mileage between Marcus and Victoria, or let's have a look at what Victoria. Let's have a look at Victoria's mileage. Yeah, 10,000 miles of running completely free. Right, here we go. This will tell us what... Okay, so Victoria has run 1,365 kilometres on Zwift. 1,000... That's kilometres, not miles. 1,365 kilometres on Zwift. Marcus is about to hit 16,000 kilometres on Zwift. Rob Harrison says Clive must have a high mileage by now. Yes, Clive's is relatively high. Not entirely sure what it is, but it's probably about 6,000. So, a good 10,000 kilometres below Marcus. Let me have a look at what Clive's is and what mine is as well while we're here. Yeah, well, the thing is, Marcus actually hasn't been on Zwift all that long, I don't think. I mean, what is it, 2 or 3 years, Marcus? It's not all that long. Oh, yes, you have. Victoria, you have been Zwifting longer than Marcus, yes. Shame on all of us. Right, here we go. Let's just have a look. Clive Finnimore. Right, there you go. I was exactly right. Clive Finnimore is on 6,196 kilometres. 6,000. That is miles below. It's 10,000 kilometres less than Marcus Holmes. The next nearest is Simon Funnell, as far as I'm aware. Unless you know anyone who's done more. But let me just have a look for Simon Funnell. Right, Simon Funnell is on 13,635 kilometres. So he's 2 to 3,000 kilometres behind Marcus. So that's Simon. Simon's from the UK. So he, as far as I'm aware, Simon is the next closest to Marcus. If you're interested in what I'm on, let me have a look. I'm on 7,600. So 9,000 below Marcus. Right. Okay, so Marcus, actually that's a little longer than I thought. Marcus has been on Zwift since the 1st of June 2018. I don't know when you did your first run on Zwift, but possibly. I'm in a very uncomfortable position here. Do you mind if I move this table out the way? No, I don't think so. Right, I've got a problem with the fan. Yeah. Sorry? It won't be done. Tell you what. If I just stand up here, I won't be on camera, but I'll be nearer to the microphone and less uncomfortable. Okay, what were we doing now? Looking at when you joined Zwift. When was your first run on Zwift? Well, your first, yeah, okay. No. Okay, so you've done 202 kilometers on the bike on Zwift as well. Right, I'm going to have to scroll right back to your very first run or very first activity on Zwift. Oh gosh, that's going to take forever. No, well, I don't know, I'm not sure, to be honest. Let's see how quickly I can go back. Okay, here we go. Right, your very first cycle ride on Zwift was on the 5th of December 2015. That was the first time you cycled on Zwift. Right, the first time you ran on Zwift was the 25th of July 2017. So your first run was a 5k in Watopia on the 25th of July 2017. On the old treadmill. Vidar, hello to you. Rob Harrison says, I'm still a relative newbie. 2,163. I'm still more than Victoria. Sarah Jacobs says, my favourite thing to do is procrastinate during my own run to watch you all run. Get on with it, Sarah. Get on with it. Marcus, Victoria is training for the Paris Marathon, which is on October the 19th. Somewhere in the middle of October. So we've got a few weeks left of training. We're ramping it up in terms of volume of miles at the moment. So the last few weeks, Victoria's been doing 60 kilometres a week. And then we had a little bit of a dip week, a rest week when we went to Chamonix. And now this week we're doing 80 kilometres. And then the week after we're doing 80 kilometres again. And then we'll do a couple of weeks at 100 kilometres just to really ramp up the training for the last couple of weeks before Paris Marathon. So Victoria's got to do at least 17 kilometres today to get up to 80k for the week. Well, obviously we're sticking interval sessions in there as well. So most of Victoria's running is slow running, relaxed, easy pace, low heart rate training. But we are also sticking in the hard interval sessions as well. Jonathan, yes, Marcus did want to run in Richmond, but this is New York. The reason being, if anybody wants to join Marcus to run with him, Richmond is not one of the available worlds today on Zwift. So you wouldn't have been able to see Marcus and you wouldn't have been able to click run with Marcus. So I suggested that we change the world to one that is available this week. So now any friends of Marcus or anyone that wants to run with Marcus can jump onto New York, and they should see Run with Marcus listed on the pairing screen or on the main screen. Or Run with Carol or Run with Victoria as well. Sarah Jacobson says, I'm at a paltry 1,730 miles on Zwift. Still more than Victoria. And I think I joined in June 2019. Well, that's not bad at all. Like I said, Victoria's first run was in July 2017. So Victoria has 2 years on you, and she's still done fewer miles than you, Sarah. So nothing to worry about there. Right, a massive long missive from Leo. So let me see if I can read this. Good afternoon, Stephen and Victoria. I wanted to jump on this, but I thought it's best not. In the end, had a rubbish 10k this morning over in Leeds. Oh no. Thousands of people. I ended up close to the back of the race, and when I got to the chip start time, I couldn't make ground to many people in front of me. I ended up running on the side of the pavement. Just horrible from start to finish. Trained for 34 minutes, lost 2 minutes because of a mile of the race. I just couldn't hit speed due to people in the way. So I ended up running another 10k early on the treadmill. But all that said, I'm in a good place mentally, mate. 80 miles for the week. Nice one. 80 miles training this week for Leo, but had a bit of a nightmare 10k this morning because he was packed with the road was packed with people that he couldn't get past. Right. Victoria says, Leo, do you want to join us just for a couple of kilometres when Marcus is about to tick over to 10,000? Right, Marcus just wants to make a disclaimer here. We're all going on about how awesome it is that Marcus is running 10,000 kilometres, 10,000 miles on Zwift. He just wants to make it clear that he's not absolutely positive that running 10,000 miles is a healthy activity or to be recommended to anyone. Victoria wants to know what your wife and the rest of your family think about you spending so much time on the treadmill, Marcus. Right, bear with me while I just go and get myself a drink. I'll hand the mic to Victoria for a moment.
Hello, everyone. So Marcus says, Leo, I once got to New York. Chat back up on my phone. But Marcus thinks his wife is watching this. I can't even read this. Marcus got late. Was late to the New York Marathon and was in that position. Yeah, and he knows how miserable that feels. Sorry, I haven't got my glasses. It's very thick. Well, at least Marcus is still happily married after 10,000 miles. Well, almost 10,000. I have to say, I wasn't that supportive of Stephen's running in the early stages. Yeah, Marcus is saying, luckily I have a real world human wife who is very supportive and running keeps him sane. But I have to say, I think it's fair to say I wasn't 100% supportive of Stephen's running. I felt he spent too much time away from the family. Maybe there was some jealousy because I couldn't run. But once I could run and I got the bug, I totally understand why he felt the need to run, why he enjoyed it. But you can't have two runners in the family, can you? Yeah, I think you can have 1.5 or 1 3/4. But someone has to take the lead with time when you've got a family. But I think we do well juggling it. Okay, so Marcus makes a fair point. He thinks that golf takes a lot longer. So running's not that bad as a hobby. Sarah's asking me how long am I running today. I think it's going to probably be about 18k, is it, Stephen? I have to do, I think it's 17 kilometres to get me to my 80k target for the week. Marcus will hit 10,000 miles when I get to 17k, I think. 19k. So I'll be on for 20 then. Yeah, Marcus, I'm happy with this pace.
Marcus, I hope you don't mind. I don't think either of us are going to go up to the full 32k today. So what we'll do, Victoria's going to run to at least 19 to get you to the 10,000, and I'll carry on as well for another 4 or 5k. So I'll probably finish at about 24 kilometers. So we'll leave you to do the last 8k on your own, if that's all right with you. Yeah, and it's very warm in here. Right, Carol says, we salute you, Marcus. Leo says he's married to his treadmill. Jonathan Coss says, it's all those half marathons on Mayfield that Marcus does that I can't get my head around. Leo says, I can't even begin to think how the hell 10,000 miles is possible on Zwift. That's madness. And that's from 2018, Marcus. Yes, I can answer that, yeah. From June 2018. So that's literally just over 3 years. Marcus has done 10,000. I mean, to be fair, Marcus does very little, if any, outdoor running. Is that right, Marcus, these days? Most of us do about 50-50, don't we? So we'll do 50% of our running outdoors, 50% on the Zwift. Victoria says, is it Boston Marathon that you're training for, Marcus? Yeah, so he says about 90% indoors. So Marcus runs 90% of his mileage on the treadmill indoors, which is fair to say is more than most of us would do. Leo says, who is second place? Yeah, we've already said we're pretty sure Simon Funnell is in second, and he's done 13,000 kilometres on Zwift, 13,600 kilometres. So he's about 3,000, just under 3,000 kilometres less than Marcus. We already looked up. So Victoria has done about 1,300 kilometres. I've done 7,000 something. Clive Finnemore's done 6,000 something. So all of us are well down on whatever Marcus and Simon have done. Marcus does have Boston Marathon coming up. Boston has a killer hill at the end, as far as I'm aware. It's actually downhill a lot of the way, Boston. but it's undulating, and there's certainly, I can't remember what it's called. It's got a name. There's a hill at the end which gets everybody. Yeah, every time I've run Boston, the downhills thrash my legs, says Marcus. Yeah, just Heartbreak Hill, that's it. Yeah, Heartbreak Hill towards the end of Boston. You've still got time to gain a few hills, Marcus. Sarah Jacobson, yeah, Heartbreak Hill, that's it. Wall squats, yeah, put your back against a wall, Marcus, and squat down. So your legs are at a right angle. Do that a few times. Jonathan Cost says Simon Funnell is on the treadmill or bike at 5 a.m. Usually Zwifts all day. Does he not go to work? So we're at 3.5 kilometres in. Marcus will not hit 10,000 until about 19 kilometres into the run. Say that again, Victoria. You're asking me. Are you asking me that? What? Okay, Victoria is asking Marcus, what running shoes do you use, and what is your current treadmill? All the miles that you do on Zwift, Marcus, do you not think that you should invest in a top-end treadmill? You know, like I'm talking about spending five to 10 grand on a really good treadmill, like you say, with decline as well. So you can do downhill running on the treadmill, and you don't have to use a foot pod. You don't have to use the Stride foot pod. You could just have direct connection to Zwift. Okay, Marcus wears Brooks Glycerin. Yes, Leo, I did put my name in the hat for Lakeland 100. And we'll see tomorrow whether we've got in. And like you say, we have no chance. But there we are. At least our names are in the hat, Leo. Okay, Marcus says, my everyday shoes are very heavy and cushioned. That's his everyday running shoes. But outside he uses the Nike Next Percent. And has a marathon time of under 2 hours 50 minutes, according to Leo. So Leo says it does prove that treadmill running works because of Marcus's outdoor marathon time. Jonathan Cost is recommending the Star Trek treadmill, which they bought for 7,500 UK pounds, is my guess. Thoroughly recommended, says Jonathan. So if you want to spend a nice amount of money on a very good, decent treadmill, does yours have decline, Jonathan? Does that Star Trek do decline? Leo's recommending getting a Woodway. I think that would probably be the top end, wouldn't it? That's where you would go if you wanted to spend 10 grand on a treadmill, you would get yourself a forefront, a Woodway forefront. Although that doesn't do decline, interestingly. Yeah, Leo says Woodway all day. Stephen Smith, thank you for the ride on. Marcus has a pre-core treadmill. Says he doesn't think it was designed for quite this much running, but it served him well. So the Star Track that Jonathan's recommending, it doesn't have decline, but it does go to 20% incline, and it goes up to 25 kilometers an hour, which is more than our My Run does. The My Run treadmill goes to 12% incline and 20 kilometers per hour. Stephen Smith, hello to you. Good afternoon, Victoria, Stephen, and Marcus. Sorry I couldn't make it. Well, by the way, you don't have to have joined the meetup for this. Because we're running in New York, it's perfectly possible if you just want to join for 5k later on, when we get nearer to the 10,000 miles, if you just want to join to see Marcus over the line for 10,000 miles, then you're more than welcome to do that. And you can just log into Zwift, click on New York, and you should see Marcus's name. Click Run with Marcus, or Run with Carol, or Run with Victoria, and you can run as much or as little as you want with us. Marcus is going a full 32 kilometers, 20 miles today. Victoria is going to do about 20k. I'm going to do about 10k in the middle. So he might appreciate some company just in the last few kilometers, because we are going to log off after about 25k. We're going to log off, so we'll be done by 25k. Marcus will have another 7k to do then. Oh, that's interesting, Carol. So Carol says they still have to. So this Star Track treadmill that Jonathan and Carol have got says they still have to reset it every 90 minutes. So it will stop at 90 minutes, which is no good if you want to do a 3-hour marathon, is it? If you want to bang out a consistent run of 3 hours long, or anything over 1 hour 30 minutes, you would have to stop and restart the treadmill. Mind you, I can't imagine that takes too long to do, though. Oh, 99 minutes. Okay. So, I don't know if you answered my question, Marcus. Have you considered spending a large amount of money? He has answered it, has he? Oh, when the pre-core dies. Okay. Yes, okay, I see. I think when this one dies, I will do that. Currently have a pre-core treadmill. Yeah, okay. Do you know, Jonathan, I think there's probably a software setting that you could override. You know, if you were a technician, a treadmill technician, there's probably a technician's section in the software. If you had the correct login code, you could log into that and change that setting from 99 to like 0 or something, so there is no cutoff. Because it might be like you say, because it's a gym treadmill, because it's a commercial gym machine, they probably put that on deliberately to stop people using the machine for very long. But I reckon there's probably an override for that. Paul Hayward says I might get a Soul treadmill. The TT8 has decline, apparently. Says Paul, the Soul TT8. I know the best one of those that I've seen is the F85. which is a very good friend of ours, has the F85. Solid machine. I don't think so, no. Stephen Smith says, I might get a Noble Pro Elite 8.0 for my birthday. Yeah, well, that's what we've got here. The one I'll be running on later is a Noble Pro. That's exactly what I thought, Jonathan, setting it to 0. But, he's tried that already, okay. Jonathan's saying that he spoke to a technician and the engineer tried to get rid of the 99-minute cutoff, but failed. He thought that setting it to 0 might do it, but you can't set it to 0, which is exactly what I thought as well. Just set it to 0, but clearly not. Simon Funnell has given Victoria a ride on. Marcus says, how was the marathon yesterday? Painful, Marcus. It was, obviously I'd done about 70 kilometres already in the week. And my session on the Friday night was quite a hard session. I did Ryan Downey's breaking point session. So that was quite tough. So I think my legs were already quite tired. Still probably got a little bit of residue from out in Chamonix. And it was very warm. So I struggled and I was very tired. I banged out the first... It was 10 loops of quite a hilly course. So I banged out the first 5 loops without much problem. Going slowly. I mean, I wasn't leading the race or anything. But then the second 5 just it got slower and slower, I think. And the last loop, I just walked around most of it, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't racing, and I wasn't in any way concerned about my finish time or anything like that. But I did just feel quite fatigued. Right, Paul Hayward says the TT8, the Soul TT8 is the one up from the F85. Both are solid machines. Leo has to go out shopping, so we'll see you later, Leo. Take care. He says, well done, Marcus, on your achievement. Jonathan's got to go and deal with some concrete. Catch you later. Go and deal with your concrete. I'm going to do it again, Marcus, next week, but I'm going to use the Noble Pro treadmill and see if it's any easier. My suspicion is that it will be easier. Coming up to 6 kilometres done for the gang now. So I'm going to join in about, I'd say about 8 kilometres probably. So at some point I need to go and get myself changed. I'll leave you with Victoria again. It's going to be very hot here over the next 3 or 4 days. So we may have to get the pool out again. You remember earlier in the summer we had the swimming pool filled with water just behind us. So we may do that again. Marcus says, did you tell the story of what it was like when UTMB was stopped? I've probably talked about it a little bit when we did the Film My Run 500 the first time back. I can tell you again. So, for those of you that don't know, I was in Chamonix in France last week to run in the UTMB running festival, and I was doing a race called TDS, Tour de Savoie or something like that, I think it's called. And 2 years ago, I did this race and I DNF'd, fell asleep on the side of the trail. So this was my comeback. This was my race to beat the demons and get this race done. Trained hard and was feeling confident, and said as much before I went out there. So anyway, started the race and all was going fine, and I was well up on my time from 2 years ago. 2 hours, about 2 hours faster than my time from 2 years ago. And when you get to 50 kilometers into the race, so you come into a town called Bourg Saint-Moritz. Bourg Saint-Moritz is a lovely little town. Last time I arrived there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was during the day. This time it was at night, so I arrived in the evening, or rather late at night. Stopped, had some food there, and after Bourg Saint-Moritz there is a big long climb, and when I say big long climb, we're talking about 1,500 meters of climb, and there's a fort kind of almost at the top, and that's that. You've still got to climb some after that fort, but when you get to that fort, you've done the really hard part of the climb up. So anyway, I started this climb, and I was feeling strong, and I was ahead of cutoff, ahead of my previous year's time, and was expecting to take about 2.5 hours to get up this hill, and I managed to make it up there in 1 hour and 3/4. So I was really pleased with that, and got to the fort. Again, had a drink there, stopped there for a couple of minutes, and then carried on. And you carry on going up. You go up and up and up, and then eventually you come to a pass where you kind of climb through and down into this valley. And from this valley, it's very technical, so quite dangerous, slippy because it had been raining, dark. It's never been done in the dark before. And I was making it slowly along the pass, along the trail at the side of the mountain. If you step a couple of feet to the right, you basically fall down 100 meters onto the rocks. So you have to be careful. Anyway, so I was going along there, and I kind of was going down and down into the valley, and made it to the bottom of the valley, and I could see lights stretching up and beyond to another tricky section and another pass. So you have to climb back up again out of the valley, and I could see loads and loads, hundreds of lights, and I thought, well, that's loads of lights. I didn't expect there to be that many people up there. And I came across a group of guys all stood around, and I thought they were helping somebody who'd sprained their ankle or something. And it turned out that they were all discussing what to do, because I hadn't looked at my phone, but there'd been a text message on everyone's phone to people in the race to say, turn back, stop going forward, turn back and go back to the last aid station. So we all stood around wondering, is this real? Is this right? Is this actually happening? So somebody eventually phoned Race HQ, and they spoke to Race HQ, who confirmed the race had been cancelled because of an accident, and we needed to go back. So basically, after standing there for about 10 or 15 minutes, I just turned around and headed back. So I had to climb back up through all that tricky section again, back up over, and then all the way down the hill back to Bourg Saint-Moritz. I got to Bourg Saint-Moritz at 7 o'clock in the morning. Didn't know anything really about what had happened other than there had been an accident. It wasn't until I got back to Bourg Saint-Moritz that I was informed that somebody had fallen and that person had died on the section of the pass just up above where I was. But it had happened a lot earlier in the evening, so it happened at about 12:30 a.m. And they didn't stop the race until 4 a.m. So I got to this valley at 4 a.m. and that's when everyone got the text message to say turn back. But the other thing that I wasn't aware of was that like I say, it's very tricky on this top section. The bit that I hadn't got to yet. You can climb through it, but it turns out that if you have to turn around and go back down that section, it's too dangerous. You can climb up it, but you can't climb back down it. So hundreds of people, well, I'm maybe a lot of people anyway, maybe a couple of hundred people, were stuck on the top of this pass, not able to go forward and not able to go back. And they were there. There's photographs of them on social media wrapped in their space blankets, not able to move because they had to wait for marshals to arrive to rope the section so that people could climb down safely using a rope. So that's the story, really. That's everything that we know. The only other thing, of course, is the people who managed to get by the fallen runner, they were able to continue. So there were people that got by before the accident happened, and there were also a few people who made it past after the accident had occurred, but before they'd stopped the race. So those people were allowed to carry on and finish. Jonathan says, by the way, Stephen, a group of us decided during a run, whilst you were away, that you should stop doing daft stuff like UTMB and stick to sensible stuff. He says, some of the tracks near where the guy fell look crazy. Yeah, they are pretty gruesome. The thing is, though, nobody has fallen before. Nobody has ever died on a UTMB race before, and although you do get people who fall, cut their knee or bang their head, nobody's had a serious injury as far as I'm aware. You just have to be careful, and my guess is the guy who fell probably was trying to push it a bit too hard, taking a few more risks than he should have done. I mean, I'm only speculating, I don't know. But certainly where he fell, it is tricky, but it's not impossible. I've done it before. I did it. I got further than that 2 years ago. Everyone else managed it okay and has managed it for years, that section. It's just, if you step 2 feet to the right, you're going to fall. You're going to fall a long way. But as long as you stick to the path and as long as you're careful, then you should be fine. And as long as you stick to the marshal's instructions when you have to climb down, there is a chained section, a section where you have to hold onto a chain to go down. Again, as long as you are sensible, it's fine. Victoria was worried initially until she saw that it wasn't. Obviously, I'm British, and they identified quite early on that it was a Czech runner who had died. So Victoria was initially worried to start with, but it was quite quick that they let the public know that it was a Czech runner who'd had the accident. Yeah, Victoria had known there was something up because I'd stopped running for quite a long time. So my tracker wasn't moving forward. So she was worried then. She didn't know what was happening, and then they announced there was an accident, so that obviously got her even more worried. But then not long after that they said, hang on, right, immediately they announced there was an accident. They announced it was a Czech runner. So yeah, so it was only when Victoria had seen that I wasn't running that she was worried. Right, we're up to 7.5 kilometers now. Marcus says, the only experience close to that for me was in Chicago Marathon, which was stopped due to heat one year. Runners were being taken to hospital with heat stroke. Yeah. Certainly, we had a runner die in the London Marathon a few years ago of heat stroke. So that's not an uncommon thing. People need to be, even in something as benign as a marathon major like London, Chicago, New York, whatever it might be. New York's usually pretty cold, but London can be very hot. So even things like that. There's risks everywhere, aren't there? The chances of having an accident, just walking down on the street are just as high as almost as falling off a mountain, or being in a car crash, or whatever it might be. As Stephen Smith says, what a cheery subject. Glad to see you're all safe and well. Yeah, we could move on now, couldn't we, from people dying while running? Because it's unlikely that we're going to have any fatalities on the treadmill today, unless it gets any warmer, because Victoria is suffering in the heat a bit here. If you put Kipchoge on the TDS, how would he do, says Marcus. Eliud Kipchoge would probably crush it, to be honest with you. He would. I'm sure he would be fine. Maybe he would need to just get used to a bit of a little bit of technical terrain. I hate that word, technical, but difficult, rocky terrain. But his pace would be slower, but it certainly would be probably quicker than the rest of us. I think a lot of people say that if you put fast marathon runners on a technical trail marathon, they wouldn't do very well. But I'm not sure I agree. If you're fast, you're fast. You just have to get used to the different terrain. And once you've had a bit of experience on it, your speed will see you through. Because you've obviously got good lungs, you've obviously got a good aerobic system, high VO2 max. You could, I think these runners would do fine. 8 kilometres up for Marcus, Victoria and Carol. Well done, guys. Well, Mo Farah, Marcus, has suggested he might like to step up to ultras. Victoria says yes, she's okay with this pace, Marcus. Thank you for asking. Carol says yes, thank you. She's okay with this pace as well. I'm munching on Skittles sweets, little chewy sweets. So apologies for the break in commentary. I am going to go away and get changed again in a minute as well. If you're watching and you'd like to jump on board, you can do. I'll be jumping on in about 6 kilometers time. Wow. In honour of Victoria and myself running with Marcus, Marcus is going to make fish and chips for his supper tonight. Very nice too. Victoria, Carol says, I'm surprised you're not eating pizza. Why is that then? Oh, I see. We do have some pizza in the fridge apparently. So I could eat the one slice we have remaining. Oh, gluten-free flour for the batter on the fish. Yes. Good point. Do you have fish and chip shops in Virginia or in the USA in general, Marcus or Sarah? Anyone in the USA? Do you actually have fish and chip shops? I can't remember when. I mean, I've been to the USA a couple of times before. I can't remember. I went to an Indian restaurant in Texas. Okay, Sarah says some pubs serve fish and chips. Okay. Yeah, oh yeah, not like you do, says Marcus, but restaurants often have them on the menu. Okay. Now, do Americans know what mushy peas are? Victoria likes to have mushy peas and curry sauce with her fish and chips. I'd go for one or the other. I wouldn't have them both together. In the south, we have fried fish shops where they sell shrimp, crab, etc. and fish and chips. Okay. Yeah. Right, I can't work out what Carol has typed there. Yes, Marcus, salt and vinegar. So the British thing to do is to have your fish and chips wrapped in paper. In the old days, many years ago, they used to wrap the fish and chips in old newspaper. But health and safety has deemed that not a good idea. So instead of old newspaper, we have just paper, and you get your fish and chips in paper, and you smother them in vinegar, malt vinegar, and salt to taste. But yeah, Victoria also likes to have curry sauce and mushy peas. All right, Carol Rushworth is suggesting a business plan for the USA, for fish and chip shops in the USA. Monica says Stephen looks different somehow. Yeah, I've grown a ponytail and I'm now wearing an orange headband. I hope you don't mind the new look. So Marcus, if you fancy a new business proposition, fish and chip shops in Virginia. How about that? Right, Victoria's just suggested moving to Virginia to open fish and chip shop. Really? Victoria wants to move to Virginia to open a fish and chip restaurant. Okay, I think that's what right. Basically, what she's saying is she'd like to ditch her job and find something better. I'm not sure opening a fish and chip shop in Virginia, USA is the answer, to be perfectly honest with you. Going from looking at a computer screen all day to being covered in chip fat and smelling of fish is not something that appeals, to be perfectly honest with you. Although Marcus would be our first customer, he says. Monica thinks I look super cute in the headband and ponytail. Thank you very much, Monica. Victoria is asking how you are, Monica. Are you fully recovered? She says. Right, I need more to drink. Are you all right for drink, Victoria? Okay, I'm just going to get myself another drink. Back in one moment.
Carol is going to finish her run soon to go to Virginia. Sarah Jacobson lived in Virginia for 4 years and it's lovely. Thank you. Maybe I will move there and open a fish and chip shop. That's if Biden lets me in. Marcus is asking Sarah Jacobson where in Virginia did you live? Monica's saying the feed is working great now. Monica, I meant your foot, not your stream. Wow, Monica, for my 6 months post-injury celebration, she hit 45 miles in 1 week. Well done.
There is a problem actually, apparently, with people travelling to the Backyard Ultra event. Lazarus Lake has the World Championship Backyard Ultra in October in Tennessee, and I've seen email. I've seen emails talking about there may well be some problems with getting the international runners into the USA, partly because of what's happened in Afghanistan for some reason, even tighter security. So we'll see what happens with that. Monica has a half Ironman in 1 week's time. Good luck, Monica. Sarah says Arlington. She went to college in DC and then moved to Arlington after. Marcus, I'm sure you've read that already. Yeah, Carol and Victoria seem to be running together, but like 20 metres behind Marcus for some reason. I don't know why. So? So it's something to do with the fact that Victoria and Carol are both on a direct Bluetooth connection to Zwift, whereas Marcus is on a Stride footpod, which fluctuates. So Marcus probably gains a little bit of speed or something every so often. I don't know. Because I quite often find this, and I run the same speed as everyone else, I fall behind. Monica says Stephen needs reading glasses. Are you looking at the fact that I'm leaning forward to read stuff? Yeah. Sarah Jacobson agrees. Said the hardest part of group runs with a Stride footpod is I never get the pacing quite right. Yeah, it's because it fluctuates so much. It's difficult to be dead on pace. Whereas, even if you accept that a direct Bluetooth connection isn't quite a true reflection of your speed, it's much easier to keep in tune with everybody, or at least it's much easier to know that you're moving at the exact speed that is required by whatever workout you're doing. Yeah, Marcus says, who knows, maybe I've only run 9,000 miles due to Stride fluctuation. Yeah, I think when we get into the realms of minutiae, trying to work out exactly how far you are running or how fast you are running on a treadmill, regardless of what treadmill it is, gives you a bit of a headache, unfortunately. Right, 10k is done. So Victoria, Carol and Marcus have done 10 kilometres. Another 9 kilometres and Marcus will hit 10,000 miles on Zwift. Vidar says, I'm looking forward to the Run Academy. Yeah, don't forget to join the Run Academy. Second one coming up this October. We'll start again. So the winners of last year's Run Academy will be running the Berlin Marathon very soon. And then the new Run Academy, version 2.0, will start in October. So get yourself signed up. Monica is very impressed with how you look, Victoria. She says you look very fit. Yes. She says, I don't feel it. I've got a bit of a stitch. And she went over on her ankle last week as well, so she's concerned about her ankle. But she's going to manage 80 kilometres, 50 miles this week in training for the Paris Marathon. So it's a decent number of miles, and we're going to increase that over the next few weeks. Paris Marathon is in October, so we're hoping to get Victoria a PB marathon time at least. What ankle is it that you rolled on? The right ankle, yes, Monica, the right ankle. Okay, in about 3 kilometres I'm going to join, so I should probably go and get myself changed and set up Apple TV so that I can run with you guys. If you're not running with us, consider getting yourself changed and getting on the treadmill and joining Marcus and Carol and Victoria and myself to see Marcus over the 10,000 mile figure for running miles on Zwift. Monica thinks she can tell that you've rolled your right ankle because of the way that you're running. It may have just been a lucky guess, though. She says it wouldn't. Victoria says it wouldn't surprise her if her running gait was slightly altered because of her ankle. It's not massively sore, I don't think. She's just aware that she went over on it, and she just needs to be a bit more careful on it, I think. So, yeah, maybe you're right, Monica. Maybe her stride is slightly altered because of that. I don't know. Do they, Victoria? Okay, so apparently not in junior schools. The kids don't wear masks in junior schools here. I don't know what's going to happen in senior school or this coming term, because obviously we're in the summer holidays at school at the moment. They're going back tomorrow. Kids go back tomorrow, so I don't think they are wearing masks. Tina says hello, just tuning in now. Hello, Tina. Are you going to come and join us? Marcus is going to hit 10,000 miles in about 8 kilometres time. If you want to get your running gear on and come and just do 5k with us in about 5k's time, come and jump on and do 5k with us. Marcus says hello, Tina. We're running through New York. Victoria's nearly done about 11 kilometres with Marcus and Carol. You don't have to be in the meetup. You can just log into Zwift, find New York, and then click on Run with Victoria or Run with Marcus or Run with Carol. Tina's shattered, so she's going to have a rest. Who's just joined us? Oh, right, we've got B-Coat running with us. Yeah, so we have got another runner just joined us. Well, at least we think he's joining us. B Coat from the USA. So 11 kilometres done now. 10 kilometres per hour. Steady pace. Victoria's heart rate is steady in zone 3. 140s. It's very warm here in the UK. Well, for us anyway. It's 24, 25 degrees. So it's a decent temperature, so it's quite hot in the shed here. Victoria has 2 fans pointing at her, but she will only have 1 fan pointing at her in a minute when I get on the treadmill. Where are they? Right, Paul Hayward is recommending banana blossom as a good fish substitute for the vegetarians. I assume we're going back to the fish and chip shop business idea. That we're all moving to Virginia to start a range of fish and chip restaurants, fish and chip shops. So banana blossom is going to be our fish alternative. Mark Mansueto says, afternoon all, would love to have joined you, but I'm knackered after the Stratford 10k. Very warm, but managed 49 minutes for a PB. Well done, Mark. 40, there's a few 10ks today, weren't there? Littlehampton 10k was on today. Leo had a 10k race this morning. So Stratford 10k was on today, and Mark managed to get a 49-minute PB. Well done, Mark. Okay, I don't know when the next time we'll be in the US will be, but hopefully. Victoria says she's never been to the US. The last time I was there was 2003, so that's a while ago now. Carol, yeah, the Zwift Fish and Chip Shop. Right, there has to be a link though. We can't just have Zwift on as the name of the fish and chip shop. I suppose, is it because all the employees of the fish and chip shop also Zwift? Maybe we could do our fish batter in the shape of a bike or something, or a treadmill. We'd have to have some kind of link. Or if you do like 5 miles of running on Zwift, you get a free fish or something. Free bag of chips. Yeah. Yeah, can't give away the profits, that's true. But we should, yeah, if it's a Zwift fish and chip shop, we should have treadmills and bikes in the fish and chip shop that people can ride and run on while waiting for their fish and chips. But they have to run off the equivalent number of calories that they're just about to eat when they purchase their fish and chips. Yeah, Marcus says New York has hot dog stands, so why not fish and chip shops in London? Yeah, that makes sense. Fish shaped in a Z. Yes, in a Z. Jackie Ramos, thanks for the ride on.
I'm toast.
Just managed to throw the fan on the floor. Luckily, it's not broken. I've just noticed that the camera angles aren't working, so I don't know why. I've reset it, but we'll see if it comes on. I don't think they will, to be honest. They don't usually. If they've decided not to work, they don't work. Victoria's probably pleased with that because she doesn't like the camera angles. It makes her dizzy. Mark Mansueto thinks that if we implemented a policy of burn off the number of calories that you're about to eat in the Zwift fish and chip shop, he would be on for a long time. Pies, chips and gravy up north, he says. Yeah, I'd be on that treadmill for a long time. Okay, first 12 kilometres went by quickly, says Marcus. So I'm going to go and get changed. And I will start, when we get to 14 kilometres, I'm going to start running and I'll run to 24 kilometres. So 10k for me. So bear with me while I go and get changed and I'll be back shortly.
We're saying battered Mars bars. Do you know, I've never had a battered Mars bar. But I have had fish and chips in Huddersfield and it was cooked in lard. So as they cooled, everything had this congealed white fat. Marcus says fried candy bars are an American thing. And you guys have deep fried turkeys as well, don't you? Yeah, Marcus says deep fry everything. Marcus usually does a deep fried turkey for Thanksgiving. Yeah, Marcus, I agree, the miles go by so much easier with good company. So yesterday, while Stephen was doing his marathon, the kids and I went and did our local park run. We've not done park run since before the pandemic. Ellis decided he wanted to pace himself. I told him to go off steady, see how he got, and I told him I did not want to see him burn himself out and walk. So off he set with his watch. Bearing in mind he's 10 years old. He did 23 minutes 30. That's 2 seconds slower than my 5k PB. Stephen said he thinks it's the last time Ellis will have a slower 5k PB than me, and I think he's right. Thanks, Marcus. We're super proud of him because he paced himself, whereas previously he's had either Stephen or me pacing him. When we were out in Chamonix, he was getting really inspired by the elite runners, and I bought him his first pair of Hoka trail shoes. Even our daughter, who tells us she's not interested in running, was really captivated seeing Courtney Daughter win UTMB. And she's also the girl who bombed off at the end, heart run. Yeah, Marcus, I agree. Courtney really is absolutely remarkable. We saw her win 2 years ago as well, and she looked so strong this year and happy. She's certainly a good ambassador for running. Thanks, Carol, Sarah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Stephen Smith, Rihanna, Mark Mansueto. Thank you. Yeah, Sarah, Ellis was 10 in June. I think he's got the potential to be a good runner. Last week, he came to our club run, which was outdoors, a hilly 10 kilometres. He wanted to try out his new trail shoes. When he was tired, we walked. When he felt good, we ran. And he kept saying he was struggling. But at the end, he realised he'd got himself a 10k PB. And the last time he did 10k was on the flat. It's amazing what running with people can do. So Sarah, your son's 9. Is he interested in running? Because beginning of last year, Ellis asked to do his first 10k. Then he did another 10k in lockdown. When he'd done that, he said, I'd like to try half marathon. So he did. He was extremely tired, but he did it. And I think he's seen Stephen do so many ultras that he understands about pacing, he understands about mental strength, and he understands But runners have lows and highs. So when he had a low, he knew he would get out of it. Hello. Marcus is saying pacing is very difficult for his kids to learn. Yes. It's difficult for a lot of adults as well. Yeah, even experienced adults. Marcus's kids tend to do the sprint walk thing. Well, jeffing is a thing, isn't it, that some people deliberately run walk. So that's 14 kilometres done now for Marcus. Should see Stephen join us shortly. Here he is. Marcus is saying he's enjoying this and he could do 100 miles today. I don't think I will stick with you, Marcus. You can join Stephen for his next 100 on the treadmill.
Okay, here we are. Right. So we're going to do 10k. Oh, thank you very much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It says, what great ambassadors for Zwift you all are. Kim Salt, I deliberately run walk. Sarah Jacobson says, side note, are you sticking with this pace for a while? If so, I'll hop on. Yes, I think so. We're at 10.3 kilometers per hour. So I think we're going to stick with this. I'd prefer to stick with this for the time being. So there's me. Hello, camera 2. Carol is going to speed up in a minute just to get herself ahead for the reset. Carol has to reset her treadmill every 99 minutes. So that's 4 minutes away. Oh, no, it isn't. It's 13 minutes away. So I'm going to do 10k on here. Tina Beard, thank you for the ride on. Oh, did you tell the story of Ellis's 5k then? Okay. So that's why Sarah Jacobson says, wow, my son is 9. I don't think he's ever run over 800 metres. Yeah, Ellis really took a lot of inspiration this year from going out to Chamonix and seeing the runners doing UTMB out there. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the interview that Ellis and Elsa did with Jim Wormsley 3 years ago. That's on our YouTube channel. If you want to go and have a look at that, it's quite fun. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing about Chamonix is inspiring, Marcus, because, you know, the scenery is incredible. The buzz, the atmosphere of the race week is incredible. And then, of course, you're watching the best ultra runners in the world. So that's incredible. And then, you know, just normal people like us running as well in the same company. So I think Ellis particularly has been quite inspired by that. Tina Beard couldn't resist joining even though she's shattered. So Tina, is she with us now? Yeah, so Tina's with us. Sarah Jacobson says she might pop on as well for a minute. If you're wondering, Marcus is going to make it to 10,000 miles on Zwift today, and he'll be there in 5k. So 5 kilometres. In fact, maybe 4 kilometres from now. 4 kilometres. And Marcus will make it to 10,000 miles on Zwift. More than any other runner on Zwift. Second is Simon Funnell. And I've no idea who's third. If anybody knows who is third, it'd be great if you could let us know. Because I've no idea, to be honest. There are a lot of us on around 6,000 or 7,000 kilometres. So in metric, Marcus is on 16,000. Simon Funnell is on 13,000. I'm on 7,000. So if there's but there must be somebody between me on 7,000 and Simon on 13,000 kilometres. Vidar miles. Vidar, Marcus is on 10,000 miles. I know that we're mixing up our miles and kilometres today. But yeah, 16,000 kilometres, 10,000 miles, and he'll be there in about 4 kilometres time. Unfortunately, there's no way that we can actually show that on screen because your mileage on Zwift doesn't update until you've finished your run. So we won't be able to show Marcus's mileage live on screen, unfortunately. And he's doing 32 kilometres today. He's doing 20 miles. So he's going to carry on a bit afterwards, doing his marathon training. So Sarah Jacobson is with us. Tina Beard is with us. Carol is with us. Yeah, Marcus says it'll be a little bit anticlimactic. Not to worry. Vidar is on 756 kilometres. So yeah, that's how much Marcus runs, Vidar. That's how often he runs on Zwift. All the time. 90% of Marcus's running is indoors on Zwift. Okay, Marcus has set a goal. So the balloons will go off when he hits 10,000 miles. So make sure you keep your eye on Marcus's avatar, Marcus's name, and when he hits 10,000 miles on Zwift, balloons will go off and streamers, etc. So we'll be able to tell when it happens. We'll be in about 3.5 kilometres from now. Yes, Sarah said false start. I have to stop for a few minutes, but we'll rejoin. So obviously something's interrupted Sarah's plans. Well, to be honest, this probably wasn't part of Sarah's plans, so running on Zwift has interrupted Sarah's plans. So Victoria, we're on Victoria's avatar. And you can see her heart rate is 156 BPM at the moment. She's kept that relatively comfortable, but it is gradually going up. And I can confirm it is hot in here. It's definitely warm in the shed. And with two of us running now, that's only going to make it even hotter. Yeah, but if you hadn't done 3 runs yesterday, Victoria, you would have had to do even further today. Much nicer to run outside where you've got a little bit of breath of fresh air instead of doing... Oh, it's much nicer to run with our friends on Zwift, says Victoria. Okay, fair enough. I won't argue with that. Oh no! Oh, that's not me, that's why. Where am I? Yeah, I can't get my mouse there though. I can't see the mouse now. Sorry, I've clicked onto a cyclist who isn't moving. Do you see the mouse? Where is it? Oh yeah, I've got it. Right, okay. Right, there's Marcus. And there's me. Okay, so my heart rate is 122 at the moment. I've done 1.82 kilometres. So I'm going to go to about 10 kilometres today. And there's Marcus. Oh no, Kim. Kim said I ran with you for all of about 10 seconds and realised it was too fast for me. But I was there for a few seconds, says Kim. Oh, thank you, Kim. Sorry about that. Marcus's heart rate is 124 BPM. So Victoria and Carol and Marcus are on 16 kilometres, so they've done 10 miles now. Kim, thank you so much just for popping in even for a few seconds. That's weird, looking at Victoria's feet while I'm running on a different treadmill. That's very strange. Yeah, Marcus says thanks, Kim, as well. Oh, there's me. Hello, camera. I need to go that way, don't I? I need to go sideways to be in the centre of the shot. Why, where's Marcus? No, we should be alright. Oh, right, those camera angles that you can see there, that's because we're fan viewing somebody. That's not my camera angles doing that. Nice backyard, thank you. Well, we'll have a pool out there tomorrow. Because it's going to be hot again for the next few days. We're going to put the blow up. Actually, you can just see the pool, just there, but it hasn't got any water in it at the moment, so we're going to put some water in it. It really is warm in here, isn't it? Hello to Marcus's wife. She says hello to everyone. Marcus, are you in the basement? Do you have any fresh air flowing by you? Oh my god, how hot is it there? So Marcus is running in a basement. He has no fresh air. I assume you've got lots of fans, at least, or have you got air conditioning in the basement? Oh, air conditioning, probably 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's still warm. That's probably only a little bit cooler than what it is in here. Lots of towels and a fan. Yeah, well, it's probably about just a bit over 70 degrees outside. It's probably, what, 75 in here, maybe 74, something like that. It's definitely warm. Okay, so Marcus says having an open window would probably make it hotter. Yeah, certainly if you've already got air conditioning, it's probably okay. Probably would make it hotter to open a window, letting all the warm air from outside in. So you can see the words "everything bagel" written in the title on the screen there. That's the name of the route that we're running. So we're in New York and we're running around a route called Everything Bagel, which is why Everything Bagel is written there just above my head. Yes, good heat training to make marathons in the fall or in the autumn easier to bear. You can see both of our fans there on that shot that's just disappeared. One fan pointing to the side of Victoria and one fan pointing in front of Victoria. 17 kilometres done now, so 2 kilometres to go for Marcus to hit 10,000 kilometers, 10,000 miles on Zwift. Vidar says it was 5 degrees for him outside yesterday. Wow. To be honest though, Vidar, I'd probably run better in that temperature. I suffer, well, as you know, I constantly complain about running in the hot weather. The fact that I suffer a lot when running in hot weather. So if I wanted to do a fast race, I would much rather it was 5 degrees outside than 70 Fahrenheit. But at the same time, I love the summer, so I would much rather run when it was nice and sunny and lovely and beautiful than freezing cold. Temperature keeps going up. What keeps... Oh, Marcus's heart rate keeps going up. Okay. Oh, it's pressure, you see. Heart rate is 130 now for Marcus. Let me go to me, see what my heart rate is now. Right, there's me. 126 is my heart rate. 3 kilometers 20 done. 3.2 kilometers done. Victoria's heart rate is 158. B-Coat, heart rate 169. So B-Coat is working hard. So Marcus is 131 now. Marcus is feeling the pressure of getting to 10,000 miles on Zwift. Okay, Sarah says, I'm sorry Marcus, I couldn't hang just at the moment. My quad is still giving me issues. We'll try a bit later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 says my heart rate would be 200. I don't know if it get quite that high, but it's certainly warm at the moment. 1, 2, 3. I thought I'd lost the mic then for a minute. No, we're all right. I've just turned the volume of the mic down a bit. I hope that's okay. I'm trying not to shout because we have neighbours having a barbecue in their garden at the moment. So they're already being disturbed by the noise of our treadmills. So they don't want me shouting too much. But I'm also aware that the microphone here is quite sensitive when I'm up close. So I'm trying not to overload it too much. Kim says it's a good level. Thank you, Kim. Marcus says hello to the neighbours. Marcus is in Virginia and he's saying hello to our neighbours who are having a barbecue. I'm hoping they can't hear me say that. Paris will be number 11 for Victoria. I'd be number 128 for me, I think. Oh no, wrong one. Oh, that's more in the middle now. Okay, so Marcus says, according to his calculations, 7 minutes to go before he hits 10,000 miles on Zwift. My headphones have died, so music has gone in my ears. Vidar has popped in to join us. So can we see Vidar? Oh yes, there he is. So Vidar is running with us. So Sarah Jacobson has joined us briefly. Kim Salt has joined us briefly, but they've had to go. I think Tina still with us? Tina is still with us. We've got Vidar running with us. We've got Carol Rushworth, Victoria and myself and Becoat from the USA. Sarah Jacobson is keen to jump on the tech issues. It's only my headphones dying. That's you can't count that as a tech issue, Sarah. Come on. That's surely it's not a bingo card thing. Surely. What was that, Vic? Marcus says hello to Vidar. So I've got the Zwift camera on Marcus at the moment. Heart rate is 133 for Marcus. Distance of 18.35 kilometers. And any minute now, in the next 5 minutes, Marcus's avatar will show streamers and he will hit 10,000 miles on Zwift. Sarah Jacobson is determined to count that as a tech issue. She says, I don't know, that shows a lack of preparation. Well, I can't, I have to admit that, yes. But in terms of affecting your quality of viewing, Sarah, of affecting the quality, you still got the music, you haven't lost the music. I contend. Oh, she said, well, I know you're joking. Anyway, yeah. I think, alright, we'll call it 50-50, Sarah. It was a tech issue, and it does show a lack of preparation. However, I don't think it distracts from your enjoyment of the stream. In fact, because you love me having tech issues, it's probably enhanced your enjoyment of the stream. Right, Marcus says, I hope the BBC and CNN are covering this live. I believe they are, Marcus. I have sent the stream direct to the BBC. I believe it is going out live as we speak. So don't swear. Who's joined? Apparently Boris Johnson has tried to join the run, but went to the wrong world. So the British Prime Minister has failed once again. But never mind, we shall carry on. Gosh, it's warm. It really is warm. Yeah, alright, let's keep it apolitical, fair enough. Good point. Alright, so keep your eyes open any minute now. There'll be streamers, and that will mean that Marcus has hit 10,000 miles on Zwift. Carlos Lepera from Colombia says, greetings, thank you Carlos, nice to have you with us. And Tom J, are the cyclists AI or real Zwifters? No, they're real, Tom. All the cyclists that you can see are also real people cycling on their turbo trainers in their pain caves, garages, bedrooms. conservatories. Yeah, so as well as being real runners, we have real cyclists on Zwift. Who knew? Who knew that people cycled on Zwift? Yes, I think we're all right, Marcus. Marcus is just checking that the pace is okay for everyone. Marcus says he has never cycled on Zwift. I haven't cycled on Zwift for a long time. The last time I cycled on Zwift was when the France and Paris Worlds were released. Marcus is at 19 kilometres now. So keep your eyes on Marcus's avatar, Marcus's name. Marcus is the one with the yellow beacon next to his name, the yellow tag next to his name. And he's got the blue shirt with the white hoop on it and the red hat. That's Marcus. He has a big yellow beacon above his head. And when he hits 10,000 miles on Zwift, you will see streamers, ticker tape flying. Oh no, Vidar stopped. Catch up, Vidar. And the reason we're celebrating this, if you're just tuning in, if you're wondering what on earth's going on, the reason we're celebrating this is Marcus is the person with the most miles covered on Zwift as a runner. So there's no other runner on Zwift who has run more miles than Marcus. So 10,000 miles, 16,000 kilometres is a big milestone to get to as we head up onto the glass. And is that it? There it is. Well done, Marcus. 10,000 miles on Zwift. The ticker tape flies. You can see it on his name there, just on the right hand side. Well done to Marcus. If you're watching this, please go and give Marcus a ride on. Mark Mansueto is the first one to congratulate him. Congratulations, Marcus, from Mark Mansueto. There it is, says Marcus. 10,000 miles on Zwift. Amazing milestone. Well done, buddy. So we'll carry on with Marcus for a little bit longer. Amazing, Marcus, says Sarah. Congratulations. If you're interested in Marcus's story, by the way, if you search back on my YouTube channel, no, it would have to be on Eddie Izzard's YouTube channel, won't it? What speed are we going now? Oh, you're stopping, okay. Marcus, in January, Marcus was interviewed live on air by Eddie Izzard, the comedian, whilst he was running 31 marathons in 31 days. Brianna says, congratulations, Marcus. Thank you, Brianna. So if you're interested in Marcus's story, you may have to search on Eddie Izzard's channel, but go to Eddie Izzard's YouTube channel and search through. I can't remember the exact date either. Apologies, I'm sure Marcus can help us out there. Tina Beard's hit her goal for the day. Well done, Tina. So I'm going to do another 4.5 kilometres. Victoria is slowing down and stopping, or she's just doing a little cool down now. Carol is still there with Marcus. Marcus says it was January the 23rd. So if you go and search for Eddie Izzard's Make Humanity Great Again marathons, January the 23rd on his YouTube channel, and search through, and you will find Marcus being interviewed by Eddie Izzard. Mackenzie Pierce, hello. Hope you're all right. I've just looked down at the treadmill, the amount of sweat on the treadmill. The splashes of sweat all over. I'm going to have to clean this once I've finished. Tina Beard says, glad I made the effort. Thanks, everyone. So thanks, Tina, for joining. So I'm going to run another 4 kilometres with Marcus, and then I'm going to call it a day. That'll be my just over 100k for the week. Marcus's shoes are soaked through, he says. And he says, thanks, Tina. Are you going to hit 20k and then finish? Okay, Carol's going to go to 21. Okay. Okay, so we are just about 20 kilometres in. I've done 5 of those, or 6 of those. Fastest 20 kilometres ever, it flew by. Well done, Marcus. Marcus is doing 20 miles today, so he's got 12 more kilometres left. Mackenzie, Marcus has already hit 10,000 miles just about a few minutes ago. So you've just missed it. Just as you came in, we just finished celebrating. So 10,000 miles Marcus has just hit. Sorry? I've done... Yeah, Mackenzie, go and give Marcus a ride on if you haven't already. And anyone else who's watching, if you haven't given Marcus a ride on for this run, please go and do so. He definitely deserves it for all the miles he puts in on Zwift. I mean, you know, for comparison, you guys watch my stream. I stream almost every day, certainly every day of the week. Maybe have the weekend off, but most days I'm on Zwift. Most days I'm live streaming. Most days we're doing some kilometres. And given that, you would expect that I've got quite a high number of kilometres on Zwift. Well, I've done 7,000, just over 7,000 kilometres on Zwift. Marcus has done 9,000 more than me. More than double what I've done. That's how much he runs on Zwift. So, fantastic ambassador for Zwift running. Victoria and Carol are going to make it to 21k just to round off the half marathon. Victoria has slowed down though, she's just cooled down a little bit. Where am I, Dave? How far am I behind Marcus? Yeah, but how many minutes behind Marcus am I? How many? Okay. Right. Right, that's me. So I'm just going to catch up with Marcus. I'm just a little bit behind him. Stephen Smith says, well done, Marcus. Sorry? What speed is Marcus going? Can you see? Okay, I've caught back up with Marcus now. So about 3.5 kilometres left for me to do. And we're up on the Sky Roads, up above the city of New York, up above Central Park. If you've ever been to New York, you'll know that these Sky Roads aren't actually there in real life. So this is a kind of modern interpretation of New York. Victoria's in her cool down, just relaxing, getting up to 21 kilometres. Marcus is going up to 20 miles, which is 32 kilometres. Kerry McManus, thanks for the ride on. So if there are any questions in the chat, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube or Twitch, I am watching chat for all of those channels. So if you want to send me a message, if you want to send Marcus a message, if you want to ask any question about Zwift, about running, anything at all within reason, then do please drop it in the chat. I'm here for another 20 minutes or so. And then we'll let Marcus finish off his run to 20 miles. Carol has hit her target. So well done, Carol. Good job. Good running. That's a half marathon for Carol. And Victoria's about to hit a half marathon as well. Good marathon training. Now, when Victoria finishes, we will have a camera that is pointing at virtually nothing, so I apologise for that. Unless I change treadmills, there's not a lot I can do about it. In theory, I could change treadmills, but it'll be a lot of faffing around, and I would lose Marcus completely. I wouldn't be able to continue running, so I'd have to stop and faff about with Apple TV to change which treadmill is my speed source. So I think just for convenience sake, I think we'll stay on this. Victoria has hit. Oh, we're watching me, aren't we? That's why. Hang on. Well, no, because it's me, isn't it? It's saying 7.3 kilometres. You should be able to see it. Okay, I couldn't tell how far Victoria had been, but I think we can be fairly sure Victoria has done. Can you see it? 21.1 there. You're at the bottom there. Okay. Yes, Vidal. We've got two treadmills. We've got a My Run over there. And I'm running on the Noble Pro Elite 8.0i. Paul Hayward, thanks for the ride on. So 2.5 kilometres to go for me, so it's not really worth changing treadmills. You'll just have to look at an empty garden for a little while. Unless I change the screen and make it a permanent screen, No, it doesn't matter, does it? Rob Harrison says, are you exhibiting at any of the running shows? The one at the NEC, January 22nd. Not as far as I know at the moment. Rob, no. We have, obviously, Zwift is based in America. And the US, I think they're still under some restrictions, some travel restrictions. I would guess that Zwift will not be sending a team out to exhibit at the National Running Show in January. But I could be wrong, you never know. It's a little bit early for us to be told about that yet. I certainly haven't been informed about anything. I can always ask, but I fear that the response may be, first off, no, or second, we don't know. Can you wait till I've stopped? Because then it'll keep the screen on here. Okay, so Victoria is done, she's off. So I hope you don't mind watching a blank screen for about 10 minutes or so. I've got two and a bit kilometres left to do. Oh look, there I am, bouncing up and down. That's not a very good view, is it? That's a bit better. There you go. Sarah Jacobson says, well done, Victoria. Nicely done, Victoria. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 says, good luck in the marathon, Victoria. And Marcus. Yeah, Marcus is training for Boston. Victoria is training for Paris. I'll be running Paris Marathon with Victoria. I'm going to try and be a decent pacer. We'll see how that goes. Victoria has very kindly turned the fan around, so I now have a fan blowing on me. So I've just hit 8 kilometres, so 2 kilometres to go. So now we're focusing in on Marcus. Marcus has done 22 kilometres. He's got 10 to go. Heart rate is 135, 136 there. So he's comfortable. We're all comfortable. Marcus has hit his 10,000 miles, which is what we came here to see. I'm just completing a rounded 10k, which will bring me to about something like 105 kilometres for the week, 63 miles or so. Victoria has done 50 miles this week, 80 kilometres. Marcus says, I like these relatively easy long runs. Yeah, comfortably slow, conversational pace, easy breathing. And there's an empty garden for you. So I think tomorrow I've got to put water in the swimming pool and put it back there in the corner. For the kids when they come home from school. Children back at school tomorrow. Hello. Oh, there's my hand. It's a long time on the garden, isn't it? Paul Hayward, thanks for the ride-on. That's 51 ride-ons for Victoria today. Yeah, those ride-ons that you can see are for Victoria, not for me. Oh gosh, Mark says, when is the next plan to do the next treadmill 100 miler? At the moment, never. But we'll see what happens when March, April, May comes around next year. Might do another one. We've done 2 so far. So I did 1 on my own 2 years ago, and then we did 1 last year with... No, it was this year, wasn't it? In March this year, with Amy Green and Jeff Partridge and Clive Finnemore. We all did 100 miles on the treadmill earlier in the year. We may do it again next year, but we'll have to see. Certainly no plans at the moment. The Everest Challenge is an interesting one as well, Mark. And not set a date for that, but that's certainly another idea. Just noticed I've fallen behind Marcus again a bit, so just try and catch him up. I think Marcus is pushing the pace a bit, isn't he? He's secretly been just notching it up a little bit for the past, I'd say the past 10 kilometres. He's secretly been just increasing the speed a little bit, hoping none of us will notice. I didn't want to say anything when Victoria was running. It would have knocked her. Here we are, back up to Marcus again. Okay, 23 kilometres done now. So I think I'm probably on about 9 kilometres. So 1 more left for me, and then I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much, Marcus, for inviting us along to share your 10,000 mile milestone. And thank you everyone who's joined as well. Tina, Kim, Vidar, Victoria obviously, Sarah briefly, and Carol Rushworth obviously. If you haven't given Marcus a ride on, if you're watching now, you've just missed Marcus. Hit 10,000 miles on Zwift, more than anyone else. So please go to the Zwift Companion app and drop a ride on for Marcus. He's going to go up to 32 kilometres, which is 20 miles, so he's got 9k left to do. I'm going to finish in about 800 metres time. Tina says, what a great way to end a Sunday. Well done, everyone. Right, we'll switch back to me now. 9.2 kilometres. Heart rate 134. Mark says, amazing effort, Marcus. Catch you all again soon. Thank you, Mark. Thanks for popping in. Just dropping a few ride-ons with the companion app. "500 metres left for me. Oh, thank you very much, Stephen Cousins, for giving Victoria a ride on. You're welcome. Now there's an empty treadmill, which once had my wife running on it, and an empty garden. I just think it would have been too much bother to go onto Apple TV and change the treadmill. It makes for an interesting view that you don't see very often. Yeah, Kim Salt says the water bottle is still there, yeah. Vidar says, well done, Stephen. Sarah says, jealous of all the great running today. Hope to join you again soon. Thanks, Sarah. We'll see you soon, yeah. And more importantly, not only the water bottle, but the sweets are still there as well. "250 metres, and then we're done for the day. And we'll see you all tomorrow evening for something. Exactly what, I don't know. Maybe I'll jump over. Actually, I'll jump over onto that treadmill in a second, and we can have a look at what we're going to do tomorrow. And Victoria is also going to give me a ride on in a minute as well. I can see a little thumb just hovering there, waiting to be clicked. Marcus has sped up again, off he goes, into the distance. Thank you, Marcus, so much. Enjoyed that, even though it was really hot. And there we are, 10 kilometres done. "10 kilometres done on the Noble Pro. Let's just jump over here. Right. So let's just log on to. Oh, I can't log on from there, can I? That's annoying. We can still see what's on, can't we? So. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Getting myself all confused. Right, events. So, tomorrow we have Pack Beginners Step by Step at 7:45 UK time. Return to Running. What's that? With Malindi Elmore. Malindi Elmore. Return to Running. Two-time Olympian, Zwift ambassador and mum, Malindi Elmore, designed a specific plan for the off-season runner. Okay. Not a race, group workout for athletes looking to rebuild mileage safely. Okay, so that's at 7 o'clock tomorrow. It's not very well supported at the moment, so we'll think about that. ZLDR recovery run, Monday Run Club at 5:45. What should we do, folks? See, that return to running, although it's only got one person, and I feel like we ought to support this Malindi Elmore with her run. I hope she's running. I hope she's not just... See, what I don't like about you getting these Olympians is that what they do is they'll write a workout, or they'll have somebody write a workout, and then the run is in their name, but they don't actually appear. Yeah, you see, she's not listed as running. Camilla Martin is the only runner listed there. Yeah, I suspect this is one of those where the Olympian themselves isn't actually going to run, is it? So do we support that one or not, or do we just go to the ZLDR recovery run? Tough one, isn't it? Tough one. Let's do the ZLDR. 6:30 tomorrow. ZLDR recovery run. There we are. Signed up for it. 10k tomorrow evening. UK time 6:30. So that's what we're doing tomorrow. Just mow for me, says Jonathan. Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I won't do it. We'll do the ZLDR run. Okay, so that is it. Well done to Marcus. Brilliant running. Great stuff. 10,000 kilometres run on Zwift. 10,000 miles run on Zwift. Victoria's done 21. I've done 10. And we are done for the day. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you for taking part as well. And we'll see you tomorrow for the ZLDR recovery run at 6:30 UK time. Take care. Bye-bye.